And so the boys were tasked with keeping the garden, maintaining the garden, and being able to keep the weeds at bay and things like that. And my goodness, did they do a fabulous job. Welcome to The Art of Gardening. I'm your host, Melissa Lalo Johnson, and I'm really excited to be here today to be able to give you an update of our community garden at the Boys Club at Aspirations in Kansas City. So we started the garden. We did a bed cleanup, a bed prep early April, and then May 6th, we did the planting. So, well, let me take you back a hot minute. So April, we did the spring and the cool weather planting. So we did kale and cabbages and beets and kohlrabi and what else is in there? Carrots, a couple different varieties of carrots, and some collard green and mustard greens. So we planted all those things. That was in March. After we cleaned up the beds, we taught the boys how to clean the beds, how to prep the beds. We had some incredible donations from Missouri Organic. They donated top quality compost. And then Earl Garden Center also contributed mulch for the property and a variety of different plants. And then, of course, Lowe's, our friends at Lowe's Home Improvement, helped us with a ton of different things, from plants to everything we needed to be able to set the garden up. So great thanks to those three companies, and then especially to Wardell and Holmes Realty in Kansas City. Andrea Buettner is kind of the leader of this whole project. She's who brought me into it, and some of our other friends. And she has a great relationship with Mr. Wash of High Aspirations and has been helping him with different events over the years. So when he wanted to do something teaching the boys about gardening, she called me, and that's how this whole thing kind of started. So, and not only that, actually, I have to back up too, obviously, our friends at PETRATOOLS, who have been super supportive of this entire project, they sent the worm tea, fish and seaweed fertilizer, and vegetable fertilizer. So all of that was applied to the beds after we put the compost down, and then applied all of the liquid fertilizers and let that sit for the next month. The beds that were prepped with the seeds immediately started growing, but we let the summer beds kind of chill for a minute and absorb all those good nutrients. So the next step, we ended up going, Lowe's donated more plants to us to actually fill the beds with plants. And then we didn't have to do any seeds. Here in Kansas City, it gets really hot, so sometimes it's a crapshoot if your seeds are gonna take well. So we got everything loaded and planted on May 6th. At that point, our friends at PETRATOOLS donated 2 4-gallon backpack sprayers, because originally I was bringing mine and schlepping them back and forth. And so the boys loved the sprayers. In fact, I have to say something. If you're a parent and you want your child to help you outside in the garden, buy a sprayer. Every time I have the sprayer going, there's a line of kids waiting to be able to have their turn with the sprayer. It's great. Anyway, so we planted everything in early May, and so I hadn't been back there. I stopped by one other time, but I hadn't been back to actually look at what our harvest was looking like. And so the boys were tasked with keeping the garden, maintaining the garden, and being able to keep the weeds at bay and things like that. And my goodness, did they do a fabulous job. So when I got there, I took a look around. You can see some of my videos showing the different harvests that were ready. We've got the summer beds. The cucumbers are just billowing out of the bed. The tomatoes looking fantastic. We have a couple different variety of tomatoes, some large and some cherry. The watermelon, we have our first baby watermelon. It was about this big. So the boys are really excited about that. We also have some tomatillos to make an incredible salsa. The other things we have over there, strawberries. We started a strawberry bed. And we are actually going to be doing in the next few weeks, Amy Gray from Cannington Farms is going to be doing a farm-to-table chef culinary experience with the boys in the test kitchen at High Aspirations. And so she will be teaching them how to use these vegetables in just very, very simple ways that increase and enhance the deliciousness of the vegetables, but very easily. So things that these boys can do. Again, we're teaching them about sustainability from beginning to the end. So we're teaching them about the beds, prepping the beds, planting the plants, harvesting, maintenance, and then into being able to enjoy their harvest in the best way. So we have some tomatoes that are coming up. Everything's green right now. In the next couple weeks, that'll be a different story. The strawberries looking fantastic. So we started with, we had all the boys come together. They do circle time where they get into a huge circle. They do some daily affirmations, which is really beautiful. High Aspirations has 2 different groups of boys that come. So they have a morning session and an afternoon session. So the afternoon session was going to a local art museum, so they weren't going to be there. So we had the boys prep some extra bags for our friends that wanted to take things another day. So we gave the boys, we passed out all the bags, and then we split up in groups. We split up into 2 groups. One of them was down at the spring garden and one was at the summer garden, just doing some cleanup in the summer spaces. But in the spring garden, the boys had a blast. We pulled so many beets, carrots, and we did a cosmic carrot and just an heirloom carrot. And then we were able to pull just bags. I mean, we probably pulled about 90 bags of vegetables out of these gardens. So a ton of mustard greens and kale and lettuces. Also just the kohlrabi. So teaching them too that they can do something as simple as being able to just take that produce that they had and being able to just simply cut it up, mix it with some oil, vinegar, oil, salt, and pepper, and put it in the oven, 375, 60 minutes, delectable. I mean, it was absolutely fabulous. The beets were incredible. So with that, you can see in some of these pictures and the videos, just the joy on their faces, being able to pull this harvest. They were so excited, and a lot of them were telling me that they have a grandma or a grandpa or their mom or their dad helping them, in the garden, that they have a garden at home, and they were telling me about the different things that they had, and they were just so excited to be able to be in this garden and learn about some of the different things that we have going on here. So we pulled the harvest, we got everything bagged up. The boys worked so hard. It was definitely a hot day. Some of them wanted to rinse the dirt off and actually look at the vegetables. It was really sweet. What we did after that was we taught them about taking the harvest, but then there's still other things left for them to be able to enjoy as the season continues. So as soon as the sprayers came out, the line formed again. And I said to a couple of the bigger boys, I said, you guys know how to do this. We've done this a couple times now. Why don't you prepare the soil or prepare the sprayer solutions? So then they were making vegetable fertilizer paired with worm tea, all PetraMax products by PETRATOOLS, and they donated all of the solutions for the entire season for us to be able to use. And then of course the sprayers. So the boys got 2 different sprayers going. They went to the different beds, they formed lines, and they were just kind of taking turns spraying the beds, and taught them about doing soil drenching and getting more nutrients and things into the soil. So when I come back in another couple weeks, we'll be looking forward to seeing just an absolute incredible amount of summer produce, the cucumbers, which they've actually already had a cucumber harvest. That's how many they have already. But we were able to get quite a few this past trip. So again, sustainability, teaching these boys and encouraging them, supporting them, and ultimately loving them with the garden. There's no better love than a garden. But you can see from the videos, the gardens look amazing. The beds look amazing. They've done an absolutely outstanding job. The boys have been working with some other community volunteers that work in the Longfellow Gardens down close to where High Aspirations is. And so friends like Mr. Gannon, Gorley, he has been amazing coming by to stop and check in on the boys and check in on the gardens. So a couple big shout outs. Again, I'd like to say thank you to Andrea Buettner of Wardell and Holmes Realty, Mr. Wash of High Aspirations. The 2 of them thought up this amazing idea and then graciously asked me to be a part of it, which I was very humbled, and this has been amazing to watch this happen. So, and I have to say, of all the children, I've worked with a lot of children in the gardens and doing a variety of different things with landscaping, gardens, flowers. And I have to say, this was definitely, this group of boys they're so eager to learn about this. It's a very humbling experience to be able to be with boys that have such energy and vigor for the garden. So a couple other people I want to thank. I want to definitely thank our friends at Lowe's for the incredible amount of plants. All of the plants that you see in the summer garden were donated by Lowe's. They just have taken care of us so well. And even up in the other beds, some of the other plants that you saw came from Lowe's, with all of the vegetable stakes, the tomato cages, netting, the watering lines, everything. Lowe's has been a tremendous supporter for us. So Lowe's of Kansas City, We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. And I will be putting the caption, we'll have all the details. So if you want to shop the Lowe's that's being so good to us, you'll have that information in the caption. Continuing on, Missouri Organic and Earl Garden Centers, they've just been amazing helping. And then of course our volunteers, Rebecca Roth and Bonnie Duma, for helping us, and Mr. Gannon Gorley for getting everything set up for us and helping us along this journey. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And I will be checking back in with the garden in another couple weeks and coming down for another harvest. And at that point, we will be getting ready for Amy Gray of Cannington Farms to teach the boys some basic, fancy farm-to-table chefery. So we'll be looking forward to that. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And thanks again for watching. We'll see you guys next time.